Guys, it's not too late if you want to add some excitement to this football season. With PrizePicks, it's easily the most fun I've had playing daily fantasy sports. You just pick 2 or more players, predict if they'll go for more or less than their projected stats, and boom. Making your lineup is as easy as ever. I can lock in my picks in less than 60 seconds. This week, if CeeDee Lamb goes for more than 83.5 receiving yards and Jake Ferguson scores a touchdown, I can turn $20 into $100. A red goblin like this means a higher payout. And this season, I've got you guys a deal. When you sign up with PrizePicks and use my code DoubleMove, you'll get a guaranteed $50 when you play just $5 in lineups. So head over to PrizePicks.com or download their app and use code DoubleMove to claim your $50 and get started today. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Week 5 of the NFL season is already here, and now it's time for 2 of the biggest fan bases in sports, the Dallas Cowboys and the Pittsburgh Steelers, to square off on primetime. The Steelers sit at 3-1, the Cowboys at 2-2. And for the first time ever, these 2 teams are playing on Sunday Night Football, so let's talk about it. To start, we have to mention the injuries. Although Dallas got a win over New York on Thursday Night Football, the turf monster in MetLife Stadium also got a few wins as well. And for the Steelers, their Week 4 game against the Colts wasn't very kind to them either. The Cowboys will certainly be without DeMarcus Lawrence, at least for the next 4 weeks, as the team moved him to injured reserve and will reevaluate in 4 weeks. The other Dallas edge defender, Micah Parsons, is listed as doubtful for this game, but I can tell you right now, he's not playing. You guys know that I'm a huge insider in the Cowboys building, so this is certainly coming from a trusted source. Micah isn't playing. They're not gonna risk the rest of the season for a Week 5 game. Mike McCarthy isn't going to push his players to play in Week 5 if it jeopardizes the rest of their season. So I expect that Dallas is out both of their starting edge players on Sunday night. And unfortunately, that's not all. Brandon Cooks was ruled out on Wednesday with a knee infection after suffering an injury in Thursday night's game against New York. Honestly, I can't remember a game where the Cowboys had that many big-time injuries. Another important note is 5th-round rookie Kalen Carson is trending towards playing in this game after missing last week with a shoulder injury. At least that's what Stephen Jones said, so take that for what you will. For the Steelers, they have a few more uncertainties surrounding their guys playing this week. Mike Tomlin said that it would be based on participation this week in practice if they were going to be able to go against Dallas on Sunday night. So far, we know that Alex Highsmith and James Daniels are out for this game. Daniels suffered an Achilles injury last week against the Colts, and Highsmith has been fighting an injury, and Mike Tomlin ruled him out at the beginning of this week. That injury is really big for Dallas and Pittsburgh because that's a tough guy to block on the outside when you're worried about TJ Watt. Jaylen Warren, Michael Pruitt, and Cordero Patterson will be evaluated throughout the week. So now that we got that laundry list of injuries out of the way, let's talk about the keys to the game. And let's start with the Cowboys tackles and them playing well. We said when they drafted him, there were going to be issues with Tyler Guyton, and there have been. Penalties and sacks have been an issue. It does feel like his struggles have been overblown a little bit at this point. He's hurt some drives down in the red zone, but he hasn't been completely awful, and he definitely hasn't gotten favorable calls from officials. On the other side, you have Terrence Steele, who last week against New York, that was his best performance in probably 2 years. Brian Burns was stuffed on every single rep in that game, and Steele did a really good job of holding up on the right side. For the Steelers, I have to imagine that Mike Tomlin is gonna want to test the rookie Guyton early. TJ Watt usually lines up on the right side of the offensive line, but I could see where the Steelers would want to test Guyton early and see if there's a mismatch there. Regardless, Mike McCarthy has to find ways to help either tackle. Don't let Watt wreck the game, and it'll be easier with Highsmith out. But also, don't play scared like you think that Watt's going to wreck the game. Chip him often, use some quick game stuff, occasionally, not too much, and find a way to keep him out of the game. Of course, that's easier said than done. It really starts with Steele and Guyton stepping up and playing well, and if they can do that, I think there will be opportunities to make plays downfield in the secondary. And that leads us into key number 2. CeeDee Lamb is the focal point. Pittsburgh has allowed the 9th most receiving yards this year to receivers in the slot. where CD runs 54% of his routes. Once again, on another preview, I am begging the Cowboys to get him the ball, and not just in the first half. I feel like a broken record at this point, but this unit has been its best when Lamb is getting the ball at an insanely high rate. Even if he is lined up on the outside, see if he can get something going against second-year player Joey Porter Jr. Find ways to motion CD across, create mismatches, and take advantage of a secondary that struggled last week against Indy. With Brandon Cooks out, the Steelers are going to focus on Lamb as well. They're going to try to bracket him, and they're going to try to take him out of the game. Mike McCarthy and co. cannot let that happen, or they're going to really struggle to move the ball and score points. These first two keys go hand in hand. Block well up front in pass protection, and you'll have opportunities on the back end of this secondary. Key number 3, keep Justin Fields in the pocket. As Jane Slater pointed out on Twitter or X, Justin Fields has recorded the second most carries and second most yards on designed quarterback runs this season. Fields has generated 855 yards on designed quarterback runs since entering the league in 2021, the third most in the NFL. The Cowboys defense has allowed the third most rushing yards over expected and the fourth most yards per carry to designed quarterback rushes in 2024. Now, the Cowboys numbers are probably a little skewed because they played Lamar Jackson, but there's nothing really stopping Pittsburgh from watching that game and seeing opportunities to do the same thing. Mike Zimmer is going to have to emphasize setting the edge and keeping contained, and he's not going to be able to stun a lot up front just so they can keep those rush lanes to a minimum. And maybe this time you're playing a running quarterback. DeMarvion Overshown, your most athletic linebacker, should be on the field the whole time. Don't let Justin Fields beat you with his legs. Make him play from the pocket, make him progress through his reads, and beat you with his arm. If he does, oh well, he played great, you tried, but I'll take my chances. Key number 4, find a pass rush. Dallas is down 3 of their best 4 defensive players: Parsons, Bland, and Lawrence. How are you going to get a pass rush, and how can you expect the back end to cover for 5 seconds when you can't get a pass rush? That's what they're going to have to figure out. Like I said, it's going to be tricky with a running quarterback, but Zimmer is going to have to find a way to simulate pressure, mug up the A-gap, bring those corner blitzes, and dial up pressure early and often. And then hope you don't get burnt for a big play. It's not going to be easy, and it's a lot easier said than done, but if you can't get pressure, the back end is eventually going to break down, and Fields is going to find someone. Right now, you have Marshawn Nealon, Chauncey Golston, KJ Henry. I mean, the Cowboys are absolutely depleted right now, and you got to try. Key number 5, stop the run. You guys already know this. The run defense was much improved last week. In this game, stop Fields, stop Najee Harris. That's about all I need to say. Let's go to key number 6. Cut down on the penalties. Last week was so obnoxious. There was no flow to the game. Some of those penalties killed red zone opportunities. Some of them were on Tyler Guyton. This has been a Mike McCarthy problem ever since he got here, but it falls on the players too. Be disciplined on both sides of the ball and don't give up free yards with penalties, please. So that is my 6 keys to this game, to the Cowboys getting a win. Right now, I think the spread is -1, so it's pretty much a pick'em game, and I want to give you guys my score prediction. I'm going to go 18-20 Cowboys. Why wouldn't I pick the Cowboys? There you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I love you all, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.